it's a progressive disease. So basically, individuals that have muscular dystrophy, their muscles deteriorate over time. Some deteriorate quicker than others. And the age range is very wide. So sometimes kids are diagnosed very young, 2, 3 years old, and sometimes diagnosis doesn't happen until 50s or 60s.
I see that happening a lot. People deny it. They want to not have to deal with ultimately what's going to happen to their loved ones. I mean, these diseases are pretty devastating.
Our support has grown over the years through a direct knowledge of how the Doyle family has carried themselves with this disease, how they've succeeded by having some types of services, vans, and some assistive help and assistive devices to maintain their professional lives and to continue contributing to our society meaningfully and to be relevant and visible and active.
If you do any reading about these diagnoses at all, you're going to realize that it's a pretty big deal, and the caregiving requirements are intense. But you can either let that destroy your family life, or you can learn to live with it the best that you can. And I think MDFF has been great at helping families realize that and get resources that can maximize your enjoyment of life.
It's a small charity. It's run by people who understand the immediate need of these families, and it focuses your giving directly to their benefit, and it's not part of a big corporate national type of thing where the cost of fundraising is eating up so much of a percent of the money. It's rewarding.
The van changed my life. It's probably the #1 piece of equipment that changed everything. Toward the end of Christopher's walking years, he rode a little scooter, and it came apart, but it's heavy, it's back-breaking, and every time you want to go somewhere, you've got to put him in the car, disassemble the scooter, put the scooter in the car. Then every time you get to where you're going, you've got to get that scooter out, assemble it, pick him up, put him on the scooter. So you tend to not really go out as much as you probably would. So then as soon as you get the van, a ramp comes down, he can roll in, we tie him down, away we go.
The idea came from the board about exactly 4 years ago, and they set a goal that they wanted to do, award a van a year for the next 5 years, and we are on year 4. And thanks to our donors, we've been able to do a van every single year.
Am I allowed to use the light?
Right there.
In our home right now, we have 6 boys. Matthew is 18, and he came into our family when he was about 1. Gabe and Mateo are 2 brothers that came to us maybe 10 years ago when they were 2 and 4. And then Andrew, Ryan, and Josh were a sibling group of kids that were looking for a home. They came into our family about 2.5 years ago. And we're a very busy family, and as Andrew has grown and thinking of ways to continue that level of activity, it was exciting to come down here and think, hey, together as a family, we're going to be able to now continue to be as busy and enjoy as many things. So everybody was excited to come down. We knew that a motorized lift was going, again, even if I want to take the kids somewhere, now it's a bigger deal to figure out how we can safely get Andrew in there. And so I've lost my train of thought. I'm watching the boys goofing off out there.
Let's get it.
The more space that it has, it obviously.
Let's get it.
I mean,
Andrew and Ryan had the diagnosis of Duchenne muscular dystrophy, and so there had been, certainly a challenge in finding a family fit for those needs. So we knew of the diagnosis at that time. I remember calling the caseworker and looking for more information on them as individuals, but then turning around and Googling Duchenne muscular dystrophy to see, all right, what does that involve? And So it's been a steep learning curve for our family, but it's been tremendous to be able to connect with other families and other professionals in the area and plug into what they know and plug into the resources and things that they've taught us, and certainly with the Muscular Dystrophy Family Foundation as well. Next week will be our 27th wedding anniversary, and we talked about making a home for children that needed it before we got married, right? So this is something that's always been part of what Dale and I intended to do. And so the idea that we can keep playing our role in making that home for those kids, but then also, you know, from a donor's perspective, that you facilitated that for, you know, a guy like Andrew or a guy like Ryan, that they can just be part of that family, and we can keep doing all of the things, you know, running to the doctors and then running to the fun parks and different things that we enjoy doing. That's what a van with a lift means to our family. It's again, life altering.